Welcome to the after show for Barstool's Most Dangerous Game Show, presented by Mattress Firm. I am your host of the after show, Jeff D. Lowe, taking the reins from Roan, who's doing a wonderful job hosting the main show. I'm with three people, one who decided who got eliminated, one who got eliminated, and Sass. Sydney made an elimination second night in a row. Vibs, you were on the wrong side of that elimination. It's the second time you're on here. It's the first repeat person to be on this. We will talk about all of that in a second, but the most important question that everybody does want to know, Sass, what was your strategy with this game? Besides sniping Roan with some quips here and there, you were mean to Roan in like the funniest way.
Well, Roan was being a dick the entire time. I remember when the first night we were in the camp, we were sleeping in the tents and we were like soaking wet, and Roan was telling me that they were sleeping in tents too, and I believed him. And then I found out the next day that they were not, and I was so pissed. And I think after that I was pissed at Roan for like the entire week. But I mean, after the first night in the mansion. And I think it was not even just the mansion. I think it was finding out that you didn't have to compete after you go into the mansion. I was like, I'm just going to go into the mansion again. And the second time I got into the mansion, it was very easy to get in. I just went up to everyone and I was like, hey, can I go in the mansion? Everyone was like, yeah. And it worked very well. So
you're saying you may have had the best strategy out of anybody. You had a flawless strategy. Everything you wanted, you basically got up through 3 episodes.
Pretty much, yeah. I just went up to people and said, can you guys put me in the mansion? And they were like, of course. And then they put me in the mansion. It was a very flawless strategy. You did. You bit your tongue for the first 3 episodes. You really didn't say much. And then finally you did. It's like you picked your spots like a snake in the grass. You were like, well, Sydney and Jordan talked for 3 hours. It was like a great, like, yeah.
Oh, shit, Stas just outed somebody. How about that?
In Stas's defense, it was just such a blatant lie that I think everybody was like, look, like, you could have said anyone else but Jordan.
Yeah.
Vibs. Eliminated. This is a little different because we talked to Billy the first time. Billy didn't really give many complete thoughts on the show. He was just stunned. Same with Brianna. She didn't say, like, she was irritated, so she was kind of ranting. So it seemed like since the show, they probably had different feelings. You, though, you had I think you kind of knew the writing was on the wall. It was you were Tommy. You were fairly content with it. It had to be pretty helpless. Like, you must have felt fairly helpless in episode 2 and 3. You were sidelined.
Episode 1 and 2 were a lot of fun. You know what I mean? I was hanging out with everybody. But episode 3, I could feel it in my stomach, that elimination. I could be the one to go. But I thought I played it how I should. I still would have eliminated Billy Football at first. Because he was the one person where you wouldn't have made any enemies. Really. If I would have seeing everything, I guess I would have tried to take out Sydney. But still, if I take her out the first night, like, then Jordan hates me and I made an enemy out of her. So Billy was still the one to do. He wanted me out. Playing with Tommy, my miscalculation was Sydney and Jordan were much more involved with Tommy than I thought they would. I thought for sure everyone would be onto Tommy's tricks. No, we shouldn't trust him. Not trust, because you can't work with him, but we shouldn't work with him. I figured everyone would kind of be on board with that.
My viewpoint, complete hypothetical. I think if you take Tommy out episode 1, you might be gone episode 2 anyway. So I'm not even. Yeah, I don't think you did any misstep there, because I think there was still like extra targets where you could kind of like hide out. Where I think Billy kind of kicked the can down the road was what you did there. But that's just, I don't know. Again, many people through 3 episodes still yelling like, how is Tommy still in this game? So I get that. There's frustration. Though, you've played with Tommy. Like he's on your show all the time. He's on Lord. Yeah. Like, you literally just hosted a competition with him and he won. Different, because it was a little different than like this. It's more of like kind of just straight competition stuff. Sass, you're fairly aware, but again, you were kind of more reserved here. Sydney, I think my big question is, out of the 4 here, unless I'm missing, though granted, like Sass is always in office. How aware were you of Tommy's success on Barstool competition shows, surviving Barstool? Because I know that predated you. Like how like what was your awareness of that? Because I've said on these shows a bunch, I felt like you and Jordan, and it's not like a knock on you, just have been here the least.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of knew that he had won past shows, but I honestly didn't know like the extent of it. I like didn't know how he won or if he was a quote unquote snake or whatever. He did bring it up like who he's made an alliance in other shows. Like they typically go to the end with him. I don't know if that's true, but he always says, that's what I told Jordan and I. And Jordan and I were very, we didn't know Tommy. Looking back now, I'm like, okay, Tommy definitely in the first, second, and third episode, he knew what he was doing. But
yeah, like I think that's insane. Like my head explodes that you don't understand that he does that. So that I miscalculated that completely because I thought I could still take Sydney as an ally. I thought she'd be like, oh, Vibs, let's go. But
yeah, I think
at the end, you want to be against Tommy because people aren't going to vote for him. And I think Sydney and we could trade votes and it could go either way. So I think taking Tommy with her in that way is very smart. So yeah.
Yeah. I think like the first, second, third episode too, like when we first started an alliance, I wasn't like really worried about Tommy winning per se, like a competition.
Yeah. I mean, we're so early. That's what, like, when people are like, oh, you didn't eliminate Tommy first, there's so many eliminations that have to go on. Like, there's so much game left. But this is where, for me, my plan, midway, that's when you got to think about killing Tommy. Because no one cares about the early September in the NFL. It's all about Thanksgiving and after. So this is where you got to think about, Tommy could be a real threat. But I think, you had to go against votes with them. And
I think I was just mostly nervous because like I couldn't read you, Vibs, at the like very beginning. Like I said in the first episode, is like I can't read him. I don't know what he's like thinking. So I think like looking back, I wish we would have spoken earlier, had that chance to like maybe even like, you know what I mean? Like just looking back.
I assumed we were on the same page, which is the problem in any relationship communication. We kind of screwed that up.
Yeah.
I just assumed we were right there, and I think it could have been different.
Yeah.
I think the analysis of where things stand right now, obviously Target's still on Tommy. Sydney, I think after episode 3, Target very much on you. You've won 2 challenges in a row, and the challenges are literally, it's the biggest thing. I mean, it's how you control the game. I think Sass, you and Smitty kind of, maybe less Smitty because Smitty's been a little more present in challenges, kind of sitting along, kind of observing, knowing what's going on. Jordan has been kind of caught up in some stuff as well a little bit. Like I feel like things turned a little bit for Jordan. She seemed to be rooting a little harder against you in the challenge this time, Sydney. She was yelling at Tommy and Smitty like, what the fuck are you doing? Like try to stop her here. Though, I mean, Smitty was literally yelling at Randy, the snake guy in the episode. So I'm not really sure Smitty's mind was in the right. I mean,
Randy's an evil man.
If you would have told me before the show that Smitty would yell at Randy, the snake guy, I would have been like, that makes so much sense. That's everything I could have imagined out of this show.
Randy, the snake guy, was awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, am I saying it wrong too? He's like Randy, the animal guy, right?
He's Randy. I think he has bugs and insects or bugs and snakes. I don't know. Mostly bugs, I think, though.
Yeah, pretty sure.
But he's awesome.
He was giddy when one of the snakes started slithering out
of
the He was like, oh, yeah. He loved it. He thought that was great. Because I will say this about your strategy, though, Sydney, through 3 episodes, I don't think it's wrong what you basically said to Tommy. You basically said, like, Vibs, if you compete in a challenge, you are a threat to me. Vibs, I know you kind of – you said it in episode 1, sort of. This is not what you said exactly, so I'll paraphrase. But like, the joke for you is like lowering the bar is like you don't like the gross, like you don't do gross stuff well, but you have been labeled like you're just associated with the gross stuff. So whether you're good at it or not, you're viewed that way. I mean, you basically told Tommy sitting, you're like, I don't think you're going to win challenges. That's essentially what you were implying, which is not really the worst thing. I would also suggest whether it's Smitty, Tommy, Sydney, Sass, Vibs in a show, it doesn't matter who it is. If you're going to come on one of these Barstool, this is like, I'm talking to the audience, I'm really talking to people who do maybe like a future show, watch like any Survivor, watch any of their shows, because Some people may watch him. They may pull it out of the playbook. Tommy's pulling like complete out of the playbook Survivor stuff, which is smart. The taking me to the end because no one's going to vote for me is like, that is a smart strategy. But I don't think like, again, we're recording this beforehand, so I don't know what the reaction of the episode is tonight. I can only imagine we're like, why does Sydney not eliminate Tommy? Though I think people did view Vibs as a threat. But I think your reasoning, right, it was sound. Like you sat there, you're like, this fucking guy is never going to win a challenge.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you can see it in this episode. It's like, okay, I was starting to think, all right, Tommy's a threat. Like, we have to take out Tommy. Like, that's happened eventually. But, like, Vibs, I was, like, more worried, like, okay, Tommy, if he wins, that's, like, luck.
Can I say this, Sydney? In the first challenge, you and Tommy went head-to-head in the shakes, and he beat you. And you said he dominated you.
Yeah.
Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, that was a head-to-head thing. We didn't go head-to-head.
That's the one thing, though, that I knew he'd win at. Drinking, eating bugs. Like, I was like, okay, that's like his expertise here. Like, if he does that, like, okay, we got that over in the first round. I don't think there's going to be something else like that. So, like, I really wasn't really worried about Tommy. I mean, yeah. So
yeah, I can't remember if we were talking about this together, but I think we all agreed there might not be any food stuff then on out. So I think that was kind of a mutual thing. So yeah.
And so like the biggest thing is like, I wish, like I said, like even Brie, at least we all had those like conversations. I was like, with Sass, putting Sass in the house, like Sass was such a wild card. I'm like, if he even competes, he'd win. I mean, he kept saying like, vote off Tommy, you know, but I don't know.
No, I would have fucking sucked at the snake challenge. I know that. I would have been able to start like I think a underrated part of the episode was when Smitty was reading the directions of the matches.
Right.
like there was some hidden trick that he didn't know, which was shocking to me. I don't know how. I don't know. Like Tommy not being able to start a fire makes sense. I mean, Tommy's from New York. He's probably never been at a fire before or made a fire. But like Smitty not having any idea how to make a fire was wild to me.
Their whole city's on fire.
Yeah.
Smitty just does and says things that it's the fact that he won a trivia competition is one of the more hilarious things because nothing with the man is common sense. Like it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Sass, you sitting on the bed, the mattress firm bed. Who would you have voted for? Like where were you going into that vote from your angle, kind of on the outside right now? I wouldn't even say on the outside looking in, just kind of the outside playing your own game. Who did you view as the biggest threat in that moment?
I mean, Tommy probably, but also at the same, like, I feel like I have an easier time just like I know Tommy very well and just being like, fuck off, dude. Like, I don't believe a word that you're saying. Like, I don't like, he's not going to get through to me. And like what you were saying earlier about like how he plays like with all like the big tricks from like from like all other reality shows, like big reality shows. It's like he straight up steals their tactics, like word for word. It's not like Tommy's not doing any like crazy like genius moves. He just like watches a lot of reality TV and is like, oh, I'm just gonna do this too. Like I know when Tommy comes up to me, we don't have a very like serious relationship. And when he comes up to me and he tries to get all serious, I'm like, okay, like I'm not gonna believe a word you're saying.
We won't spoil too much, but episode 4 is next Tuesday, August 2nd. So we won't mention anything about the episode, but getting up and leaving the campsite, going back to the mattress for a mansion. Sass. Oh yeah. What's in your head?
That was actually I'm assuming none of this is in the episode. It definitely isn't, so I can probably talk about it. But Smitty was a fucking wild card that night. He was just like, yeah, dude, I don't go on vacation much. Like, this is my vacation tonight. And like,
can I yeah, Sass. So my first night in the camp, Smitty was there, and Smitty said the same thing, where he's like, "I'm away from the kid and the wife. It's time."
Yeah.
Right. Let's say he has a kid and a wife. So like, it's not just some sad, lonely man who like he.
Yeah. He was indulging in some sins.
Wait, we get back to the mansion pretty late because like we wrap up shooting pretty late, and like we try and film some like just like some testimonials, some B-roll, whatever. And Smitty had like 2 beers and like straight up just like could not function. Like was like we had to just be like, all right, fuck it, we'll just record in the morning because Smitty was like so out of it. And we were playing pool and he just kept on like referring to himself in third person and shit. And it was so funny.
Oh my God. He is such a bull in the china shop. It's unfucking believable. Like the man truly just has one speed, one lane. Like he does the same thing. It could be this show. It could be the Dave Portnoy show. It could be cracking aces. It could be at the poker. Like he just is the same man, no matter what it is. But when you were leaving though, going to the man, like what's your mindset? Are you still in the mindset going into episode 4? Like I just want to get back in the mansion.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Definitely. I actually think we didn't get a lot of sleep the night before. Like in the beginning of episode 3, I think when we pulled up and you guys were all like super tired, and I think I told Tommy to like fuck off or something. And I think I was like super tired, and I was like, I have to, like, tonight is the night I need to be in the mansion because I needed to sleep in a real bed.
You showed up to New York. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
We went to bed kind of late because we thought we didn't have to be at the camp until like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
They woke us up at like 6 a.m. just to sit there and sit around.
Around for like 3 hours.
Yeah. I'll say that I've been nice to producers for that move. The producers can suck. Like,
yeah, that was out of hand.
Oh my gosh.
Sydney, watching back the episode because you've seen it now, I'm curious if you wouldn't. I mean, again, you won a challenge, you eliminated somebody, but would you? Not as much the elimination, but would you maybe handle things differently walking around camp? Because I feel like you almost made it a group decision. Like, would you have maybe tried to take the reins more and take more control? Because you seem to be at a pretty big impasse, a fork in the road. You were, from my view, essentially saying, do I make this more of an alliance play or do I take control of the game right now?
Yeah, for sure. So, like, even going into the challenge, I was like, okay, I am going to do anything that I can do to, like, not win. Like, I will not compete. But then obviously seeing the challenge, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to just be a laughing stock on Twitter if I don't win.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this kind of sucks. So going back, yeah, I like honestly really wanted to vote Tommy off. Like that was like, okay, I want to do that. But then after talking to my alliances, like it was clear that like if I voted Tommy off, they were against me. So if I lost the challenge, like I was probably a target on my back because I voted off Tommy. Unless Vibs won and he stayed, you know, but I also, again, I was like, oh, I think I can trust Vibs. I'm not sure. So it was like kind of stressful in that sense. It was like, okay, what do I do? Like if I vote off Tommy, am I screwed either way? Well, I have to win the next challenge. So that's what was going in my head. Like I was like, I think I'm just going to have to vote off Vibs to stay safe with my alliance.
I have a question about the fire challenge. Jordan used her water to put on your fire. Do you think that was because Bree that night at elimination said that Jordan was a puppet to you?
Could have been, yeah.
I mentioned that in the after show. I said,
looking back, yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just didn't see things clearly.
Because of the edit or what, but that's what I took out of it. Like that was, unless I don't know, unless in the bloodbath you guys were trading blows. I guess you could have eliminated each other there, but that was kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I said that in our after show with Jordan and Bree yesterday and Smitty, or 2 days ago, that I felt you guys kind of put a target on your back as an alliance of two, because I said it was phony. She claimed, she's like, no, I really didn't know if we're going to get eliminated. I'm like, you guys talking about like, oh, who, I don't know, maybe Sydney's going to eliminate me. I was like, there's no way anybody's buying this shit right now. So
yeah,
I think they're just putting an even bigger target. So that is a good point, Viv. Like, I don't know if maybe that was just to like,
yeah, like when Jordan in the bloodbath was on the dunk take and being like, Sydney, suck my dick. It was like, no one was falling for that.
I know.
We shared scrunchies in episode 1.
Yeah. I know. I don't know. It's just like looking back, it's just, there was just so many good competitors. And like, honestly, I was keeping, like, I didn't think Smitty and Tommy were going to win very much. So like, even Jordan, I knew was a competitor. I don't know. It was hard. It was a hard game. And like making those alliances, like it was stressful because I didn't want to like make enemies, especially going into the 4th round. Like I was so close to the end. It's just like, I don't know what the right decision is here. And like, I don't know. I didn't know. It was hard.
Vibs is an interesting elimination too, because obviously you eliminate him. Billy eliminated. all signs point in the end to kind of being anybody but maybe a Tommy, maybe a Vibs, but now Vibs is gone. Bree eliminated. Definitely, I mean, she rewarded Tommy a win. So if Tommy makes the finals, she's done it before. She'd do it again. And she said she was fairly mad, but it was only really at Jordan. But now you eliminate Vibs, who I would say Vibs on going out, unlike the other ones, where you have Bree maybe versus Tommy, Jordan maybe a little bit you, Sydney, Billy against maybe Vibs, but that doesn't matter because Vibs is out, and Tommy, where Vibs, like, you kind of have no enemy here. Like, this is it's a la carte right now for you. You can really pick anybody, right? Like, you're leaving feeling pretty even across the board, right? About everybody?
You're doing me or Vibs?
Vibs.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking to Sydney.
Oh, no. Like, you're leaving, like, feeling fairly...
So with the vote, no, I'm not gonna. I don't want to see Tommy win. Sydney voted me out, so
okay. So you're not. I thought you might be a little more even, like you don't. But okay, so there are two.
No. Once Sydney voted me out, I was like, well, I had nothing against you, but now I do. Like, yeah,
for sure.
There. Smitty, yeah, Sass for sure. Sass has done nothing wrong. We broed out, we talked shop in the last episode. It was great. But I'd say Sydney's the only one left that kind of screwed her out of my vote. But she did the right move.
Does that play a factor though? Like is the right move? Like in the end, you're leaving camp. Are you leaving camp thinking, all right, I'm going to reward the person that played the best, or I am going to put personal feelings here?
No, I'm a petty man. I have revenge.
You did famously eliminate Dana from Barstool vs. America.
So Sydney said she didn't understand what Tommy's game was. She definitely didn't understand what my game was. I held true to the one alliance and didn't give the money to the girl that I was dating. Like,
yeah. Well, Glenny gave you a sandwich.
And Glenny gave me a sandwich, and I stuck true to that. Like,
I forgot that. Glenny
I'm an honest man.
Glenny gave up his sandwich. Actually, I had to throw out. I'm actually in the shore house I share with one Glenny Balls, and he left 2 large Monte Cristo sandwiches on last Sunday. Had to toss those out. The man likes to save sandwiches for friends. That's what he does.
Hey,
he saves sandwiches for friends, and he gets rewarded money. That's what he does.
You learned a lesson there.
Sass, did you ever figure out that telescope?
No, that thing was broken. I tried to figure it out for a while.
What about the speaker system?
No, speaker system I couldn't figure out either. The binoculars were cool though. It was like I could see like far as fuck away over this like hill, and there was just a singular cow just in the distance, like on top of a mountain, and it was off. It was sick.
It's fucking ominous. Maybe the cow's gonna come into play here on the show. Final thoughts, Vibs. This is your second reality show. What would you have done differently? Maybe from the outset, if anything. We kind of talked about this already. You said you still would have eliminated Billy.
Yeah,
I do think was the right move.
Yeah.
Would you have done anything differently?
I would have talked to Sydney more because I just assumed we were all on the same page, knowing what Tommy was capable of. I just would have talked to Sydney more. I think it goes back to when it was me, Bree, Sass, and the mansion. We just didn't have numbers against the people at the camp. It's just the numbers really screwed you. So if there was a way to stay out of the mansion as much as possible and just win challenges, that would have been great. But
by the way, how long did it take them to convince you and Sass that they actually competed in a challenge?
Probably a good 10 minutes. Because I did not believe a word Tommy was saying, and then everyone else was just kind of like chiming in. I was like, no fucking way you guys had a fucking... And Sydney won again? Sure, all right.
Yeah.
So, but Sass and I had fun. We watched SNL, Kyle Mooney's last SNL. And on there.
Where were you when?
Yeah, it was a shitty episode.
It was. It really, really was.
It was really bad. Like, bad.
That's why you got no... Boy, yeah, you risked all that sleep just to watch a really bad episode.
I know.
You really did. Fuck.
Oh, man. Sydney, you leave 2 wins in a row. Large target on your back. Large target on Tommy's back. Smitty kind of in between everywhere. You never know with the man. You hang on every word the guy says. One word he could be a friend, one word he could be a foe. Sass waiting in, I keep saying the weeds, but he's just waiting in the mansion. And Jordan's kind of in an interesting spot. And you can see there's a mindset change happening for Jordan a little bit. At least that's what I can tell. He might have not seen the other episodes. That's a guess. We'll see. 2 episodes left. The next one's August 2nd on a Tuesday, and then August 4th is the finale of another one of these next Tuesday. Vibs, the time is up, but you're still there. Actually, wait, before we go, what was the morale of Bree and Billy?
Oh my God, that was
Had to be low. They did not look happy.
It was like walking into, I don't even know. I can't. Everything I'm thinking of is just too horrible to say right now. They were bummed out.
Morale was low.
They were so upset.
I had to come in and be like, all right, guys, let's wake up early. Go for a walk. They didn't like it.
That's on by.
Barstool's Most Dangerous Game Show presented by Mattress Firm, hosted by my good friend Rome. We'll be back next Tuesday, 8/7 Central. Until then, folks, thanks for watching.